We are down to our final 8. Mina has suspicion on her. And did Charlotte breach the Traitors' Oath? This and more on tonight's Traitors Debrief. Oh. Another week of the Traitors has been and gone. And I'm now here to give you your fill until Wednesday comes round again. I'm Mark and I'm your host. And boy, have we had a jam-packed week at the Traitors. At the Traitors, in the Traitors. We are down to our final 8 contestants, 2 of whom are traitors, and we've only got 2 more banishments left where those leaving actually announce whether they're a traitor or a faithful. So on to our first big question. Who did Mina and Charlotte put forward to be murdered at the start of episode 10? Put forward for murder by our pair were Jake, Joe and Leanne. Now this is the second day in a row that Joe and Jake are on the murder list. So Jake, all but cleared at this point really. Self-proclaimed traitor hunter, very clearly a faithful. Joe and Leanne, well, they're both players who inspire voting action. Joe obviously led the charge for Alex's removal, and Leanne has sown doubts about people throughout. Leanne has been repeatedly asking whether it's Leon or Mina who is protecting her. Now that Leon's gone, does that put the pressure onto Mina? Maybe. I think Jake's probably gone. Mina's comment at the end about we're taking out someone who's influential and as a traitor hunter, well, that eliminates Joe. He has got no one. Leanne's basically got no one as well. So that really leaves us with Jake. So Jake's gone. Ultimately, Leanne keeps thinking that it's Frankie or Joe. So having her in is actually quite useful because she's not pointing the finger at Mina. She's pointing the finger elsewhere. Joe just keeps pointing the finger at the wrong place. While Jake is squeaky clean, he gets the right people. Yes, he's definitely got a few duds, but actually he did push out a traitor quite obsessively, quite successfully, really. My analysis is that Jake is gone. Leanne revealed at the end of episode 9 that she thinks it has to be Frankie or Joe. And Joe is a good landing pad for suspicion, really. He's pushed out so many faithful at this point that it's very easy to point the finger at him and say, well, why do you keep getting faithful voted out? Share you think's been murdered at the end of episode 9 in the comments below. I want to see what you guys think. The next thing on the agenda is who deserves the money the most. So obviously at the end of the Traitors, someone or a few people will walk away with the prize pot. And after the banishment of Leon, our 8 decided were given an opportunity to sit down and have a dinner party. Lovely. In that, they took the opportunity to tell us about what they planned to do with the money. Now, this must have been really hard listening for Mina and for Charlotte to sit there and actually have told in agonising detail, this is how I would spend the money that you're going to try and take away from me. And I imagine it will play on their heartstrings when they do choose to murder. The thing I'm really wondering, Leanne and Charlotte are using it for effectively the same thing, for IVF to have children. And I do wonder whether this makes it easier or maybe harder for Charlotte to choose to murder Leanne. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Alex wants to donate money to charity that helped his family support his brother. Joe wants to set up a pub. Mina wants to go on a honeymoon. Frankie wants to support her children go to university. Freddie wants to support his mum, who helped him, and also pay for his law school. Jake wants to support his mum and dad and give them some money to say kind of thank you for supporting him as he grew up. Who the most deserving is a very personal decision. Personally, I think IVF is definitely up there with the most deserving. I also think Mina's honeymoon is actually kind of very important experience, quite special. Frankly, they're all really nice things. Perhaps Joe's pub desire is a little bit weaker, but who am I to judge? If that's your dream, then that's your dream. Our next section is a section I like to call, Did Charlotte Break the Traitors' Oath? Now, let's remind ourselves of what the Traitors' Oath actually is. Do you commit to lie and deceive throughout the game? And are you willing to murder every night? And do you vow to keep your identity and the identities of your fellow traitors a secret? Now, all traitors make this oath before they join the Traitors Tower. We didn't see Charlotte take it, but I suspect that's for the interest of viewers. I think it's probably explained. So we're going to assume she has taken the oath or effectively has taken the oath. She brought up Mina's name unprompted twice in episode 9. Twice. Does this constitute a breach? I'm not sure. Let's look at each one by one. So there's a time where she's in the car with Freddie, and they're talking about who they suspect, and she brings up Mina. Now, they are already talking about who they're kind of on. Freddie has already brought up Mina prior to this, so I'm not sure this really constitutes it at all. It's, you know, it's harking back to something that that they both already knew. They both already discussed. Charlotte and Freddie had already discussed. So actually, fine. Would probably be weird not to in many ways. The other time is when they're playing badminton together. Now, this one I think is a little more on the line. Let's just watch the clip.
Is it going to be the name that I'm thinking? I'm scared to say.
I've got a 1, 2, 3 game. You want to say a name after 1, 2, 3?
Okay, we can do that.
1, 2, 3.
Mina.
Frankie. Oh.
Does this constitute a breach? See, I wouldn't say it doesn't, but it doesn't, I don't think. Backstabbing is a part of the game. It's called the Traitors. You know, traitors are expected to betray each other, and she doesn't outright place Mina as a definite traitor. The badminton occurrence is as close as it can be, I think, without it being an actual breach. She always can't confirm that Mina is a traitor without outing herself as a traitor as well. But it is a little bit close to the line. As they say, though, there's no honour amongst thieves. Clearly, there's no honour amongst traitors either. And maybe Mina has chosen someone that she trusts a bit more than she should. Now, main character syndrome. It is bad in this season.
Why are we still here?
I know, I'm going to bring it up at the round table. I feel like I need to address it now.
Jake asked me as well. He
I'm
said to
gonna-
me last night, why are the three of you still here?
So main character syndrome, for those who don't know, is the idea that the world revolves around you, that you're the main character in the world and everyone else is just part of it. I'm sure I have it. Well, partly because I am the main character. But now, Leanne, Joe and Frankie are the worst offenders here. And the most common phrase that really gets people's goats, including mine, is, why am I still alive? Why me? If I don't know the traitor very well, then I would have been murdered by now. Would have been murdered a long time ago. Yeah, maybe, or maybe you're just not very good at the game, or maybe you're insignificant, or perhaps there's 25 players in this game and they can't murder everyone all at once.
Why are we still here?
But maybe it's because you're main character. Yeah, maybe. It is very frustrating watching. It is so frustrating having the rationale for voting people out being, well, they should have got rid of me by now. I am a bloody genius. I don't know what I was getting at there. We'll cut that bit out. The producers need to work on how people can potentially find some nuggets of evidence, so that it's not just based on this idea that, like, well, I should have gone by now. So the fact I'm not means it's you. I was really hopeful at the start of the season, actually, about the games that they put in, that actually there was a little bit of, well, if you're a traitor, you won't want the players to be able to get this. Everyone gets a shield if they win the game. So actually, there's going to be a little bit of an incentive to not win. They kind of just gave up on that fairly quickly, which is a bit of a shame. I hope that next season there's more of those games. Moving on, there's been some discussion in the forums. Mina is in trouble. Now, Mina's very liked. We love her. I love her. She's great. She is everything that I want a traitor to be. But she has become a little bit maybe overconfident. She's adopted a maybe slightly Armani playing style, I should say, in her confidence. And I have a worry that Mina may not now see it to the end. And the confidence isn't necessarily a problem. And I think Armani demonstrated this, that the confidence in of itself isn't necessarily a bad thing. The challenge is that your confidence needs to be founded. And that is where Armani's piece fell apart because her sister said, well, she's not quite like this. Now with Mina, we obviously don't have anyone that we're aware of that knows her from the outside. And that's fine. We don't need that. And the players don't need that necessarily. However, they've been with her for a while now. We don't know how long exactly, but a few weeks we'd expect. And she has become more confident. Why would you become more confident? Because you're a traitor. Because you're confident that you're going to see it through because you can't be murdered. 50% of the ways you can die are eliminated for you. You have a good chance of getting through. She's also increasingly defensive. Whenever she's been accused, she has done something which I think is quite bizarre and very common amongst traitors, actually, which is she calls on other players to come in and defend her. In episode 9, she was accused by Frankie, and she says, well, no, look, don't I come in? You know, you over there, you know, I come in all the time, don't you? And actually, with this example, she reels them off, and it's, you know, a very, very good defence, very stout defence. And I think if it was just about defence, fantastic. But I think that it allows for a little bit of doubt to seep into other players' minds, because that defence is just so strong, so rehearsed, perhaps. I think another challenge that Mina has is Charlotte doesn't have her back. When push comes to shove, Charlotte will vote for Mina. And that is a really challenging piece, because unlike with Linda was very happy for Mina to vote for her. She wanted her to vote for her if it meant that Mina was safe. Charlotte would just vote for her, full stop. There was a part of me that thought in episode 9 she was going to vote for her. She didn't. She voted for Leon, who was eliminated, but there was a little bit of doubt. Other problems? The faithful are running out of people to point the finger at. There are more and more players that people are saying, well, you're 100% faithful. You're cleared 100%. So Jake, who's probably dead, but Jake. Charlotte, interestingly, 100% faithful. Nobody is saying that Mina is 100% faithful, and that's a problem. She has no one who is going to come out and bat for her specifically, and that's a problem. Because when you're running out of people to accuse, if you are someone who doesn't have one person's absolute backing, you know, you look at Alexander and Frankie. Alexander was like, I know it's not Frankie. 100%, it's not Frankie. I'm pretty confident it's not Leon. Please give me someone else to vote for. Voted for Leon. Leon's obviously a faithful, but he was so confident about Frankie. And as we whittle down the numbers, Mina's role gets more and more difficult. It is my prediction that Mina will be banished in episode 10. And our final section, what do you need to look out for in the final 3 episodes of The Traitors? So I think we're going to see 2 camps form in episode 10. We've got 8 voters now. One's going to die. So we're going to have 7 voters in total. One camp is very much gunning for Mina, and the other for Frankie. It'll be interesting to see where the votes of people like Jake and Freddie end up. Obviously, if Jake's not there, then we won't know. But it'll be interesting, and I think it's something key to look out for in episode 10 is those corridor conversations that happen. Whoever the surviving faithful are, who do they talk about in those corridor conversations? Who are they saying, oh, I'm not sure about? Prize pool. It's currently only sitting at 58k. Now, I say if only 58k, that's obviously a fairly significant amount of money. But if a traitor steals that, okay, great, 60k. If 2 faithful have that, that's 30k each, that's less than. The players are going to have to pull their fingers out to get that prize pool up. That or the producer are going to increase the amount of money available in tasks, which is I think what we've started to see already. But the thing that I think we need to keep an eye out for is it going to be money or shields? And does that change the dynamic massively? You know, especially as we get these last 8. They're very self-centered. Now, they have to be. You know, I think that's a problem with the game, but we'll get onto that another time. They have to choose between money for maybe them or less money for definitely them. Only time will tell, but I think let's keep an eye out for those games where it's shields or money. It has to be that choice. And the shields are going to get even tighter and everyone's going to want them because they're so close. They're so close. And I think the final thing to look out for in episode 10 and beyond, who are each player's 100% faithfuls? You know, currently Charlotte is sitting in multiple players' 100% faithful club. The idea that she cannot possibly be a traitor. Frankie has absolute belief in her. You know, this could change. Easy change. You know, one wrong move with this group of players, you're gone. That's it. End of. But if you're 100% faithful for someone, you've got a really, really solid chance to see it through, particularly in the last phase, which we'll see in episode 12. Make sure you've liked and subscribed so I know you're 100% faithful, and leave a comment on what you're most looking forward to for the last week of The Traitors. Until then, I've been Mark, and this has been The Traitors Debrief.